Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm Madam Selkie, or Thais Portillo. You might have heard both names, I don't know. It's great to be here, and this is actually a really difficult topic to talk about. I feel like people don't really want to discuss ethics very much because it kind of takes you to the space of accountability. And the thing about NFTs, which I don't know if you'll agree with me, that it still feels a little bit like the Wild West. People do pretty much whatever they want, and they behave in ways that, they use the excuse of it being Web3 to behave in ways that they probably wouldn't get away with or behave in real life. But, there are lots of good things going on in the space as well. So I'm just gonna start by talking about the something called the Time is DAO. That it's a collective of artists and collectors and innovators who were sort of brought together by Rebecca Bastian, and we're setting up, and we are trying to lift up ethics in NFTs and trying to support artists and trying to bring these values to the space. So autonomy, so artists are able to create and to be in the space and to exist and to be a part of it without being pressured by collectors, or without being told what to do, and without being basically freedom and autonomy. Like it's a very important thing. Respect, that's quite basic. It's for life and for NFTs as well. Empathy, we see a lot of things sometimes going wrong, and we see people going through rough patches, and we see people having a difficult time, and it's good to try and understand, especially since this is a global environment, that there are people who come from all sorts of places and walks of life, and we're all different, and we do need to kind of think a little bit more about how we react to people in the space and how much empathy we have, for what they go through. Honesty, again, pretty basic as well, because we're creating things. It's art, it's creative, but it's also financial. We're selling our NFTs, we're doing business, and honesty I think it's key in business and in life in general again, but especially since, we're trying to captivate people and get their trust and get them to follow our journey and consume our product. So, it is really key. And also accessibility, because, again, pretty basic. We want people from all walks of life and from abilities and disabilities to be a part of it. So I think one of the great things about Web3 is decentralization. It's like, it's you being able to set up your own thing and do your own thing, and you being a separate organization from, you don't have anything kind of an umbrella above you. But it's also difficult because that makes accountability very, very difficult. So it's hard to have uniformity in the space, and uniformity in the way that we do things, in the way that we behave, in the way, that we hold people to account, because of, and I think a part of it is decentralization as well. But that doesn't mean that we can't do it, or that at least that we can't try to do it. And I think there are a few things that we can do individually, which is take initiative, good initiatives, and always lead by example. Support fellow artists, collectors, call out people when we see things that are questionable, are difficult to talk about, are just outrageous. It's our job as well. The DAO that we're setting up, we don't want to be the police of the space. That's not the point. The point is to influence behavior. The point is to get people to think differently about how they behave and what's acceptable. Because that's what we do in life, right? So there is no reason why we shouldn't do it in NFTs as well. Support artists and collectors. People go through hard times, or they just need a lift to find the right way. And sometimes, you know, there are a lot of young people in this space. There are young women especially who are quite vulnerable and who, you know, can get taken advantage of. And so it is important that we can see it and we can call it out when we see it. So it's really pretty basic. I was joking with friends before I did this, before I came to do this talk, and it really all boils down to be a nice person. You know, behave like a nice person, but also a few more things that are a bit more complicated, which is like, how do we set the parameters for this space, you know, for everyone in the space to behave a certain way, or, you know, to accept that there needs to be accountability. And this is one thing that the time is now, you know, we're getting together, we're putting our heads together, and we're trying to do. And we're very strong all together, and that's why we put this collective, you know, we formed it, and yeah, we just, please look it up, get involved. It's one thing that you can do to be a part of this movement that's going to, I don't know, create a baseline of, you know, what the space should be like in terms of behavior and what's acceptable and what's not. So yeah, thank you very much.